I wonder how much food you're putting into your caddy each week. How many mini caddies are you bagging up? It's taken away for free. Yes, it does get sent to be turned into energy, but we're still throwing away too much, according to Guernsey Waste. They've been monitoring what we're binning and have come up with, you guessed it, a campaign. And we can chat to Tina Norman-Ross, our Waste Prevention and Recycling Officer, about it this morning. And before we get on to your message, if we could, Tina, hit us with some stats here. Do you know how much we're throwing away?
I do, and this is really has come out from some UK research, which we're always kind of monitoring, but we're no different here. So the statistics we have localised, and in fact, I think this is the big number, really. Bread is one of the big things that we throw away too much of. And if you were to stack up, this is every day, if you were to stack up the bread that we are estimating people in Guernsey throw away, it would be 7 times the height of the mast at the Weybridge, bottom of St Julian's Avenue, which is phenomenal, really.
Is that the bread that we're throwing away from households, or does that include shops and stores as well?
No, that's just households.
So it's just us?
Yeah, we're collecting about 3,500 tonnes of food waste every year, and obviously that is made up of all types of things, but we know that bread is one of the biggest things that people are throwing away.
That's a lot of bread, isn't it?
It's a huge amount of bread.
Why is that?
Mainly because we buy too much. I think milk and bread are one of the two things that we tend to think we can't do without. So every time we go to the shop, we think we need bread, we need milk, we mustn't run out of those. So that's one of the reasons we're simply buying too much. And we're not looking after it when we get it home. So ideally, if you're buying loaves of bread, it freezes really, really well. So we're trying to just get that message over about look after the food you buy. And eat what you buy, basically.
Eat what you buy, okay. 2 crucial points there. And on the point of potentially freezing some foods and others keeping longer, do you see any sort of issue or problem with the way that packaged foods and foods that we buy from well-known supermarkets here are stamped, aren't they, with sell by or use by dates? And we take those very seriously, don't we?
We do, and that's part of this campaign. Really, is encouraging people to look at those dates and understand what they actually mean, because the use by date tends to be on items like chicken, for instance, or things that could potentially be harmful to you if they went off and you ate them. Some other things, like especially vegetables and fruit, are best before date, and they are perfectly fine to eat after that date. It just means they're not at their absolute prime quality. So they're a bit more of a sort of a precaution from supermarkets.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. This campaign, we've got lots of information going out, and we'll have lots of information on lovefoodhatewaste.gg, lots of tips. But it's really just to get people to recognise that they are throwing away this food, and it is about the food waste, but actually it's about the money that we're also throwing away.
How much is that all worth then, do you think?
Well, again, on average, it's about £800 per household each year. So that adds up to about 10 million island-wide, which is, that's a huge amount of money. Think what you could do with that. So we are really, obviously waste is our business. That's what we want people to focus on, but it really has a monetary value as well.
And it's not realistic to I suppose, get rid of that figure, or even, I don't know, you tell me, cut that in half. But what's an aim that we could aspire towards? Let's take that, sorry, did you say 10 million?
10 million as an island, yeah.
As an island every year. What can we get that down to?
Oh, gosh. I mean, the thing is with the food waste is we are throwing away the equivalent in weight to 2 elephants each night as an island. That's that's that volume. So we want people to look at the volume of waste they're throwing away. They're looking in their food caddies. They can now see how much they're throwing away.
Yeah.
And
these comparisons are really, really helpful, genuinely. But let's just address this
point
of
what's
our
our
aim.
target?
Yeah.
What's our target? I would say our target would be to at least maybe half that food waste. So bring that down to 5 million.
In how long?
Still a huge amount of money.
Years?
I think that the recent lockdown has helped to change people's habits. So I think realistically, it's a good time now for people to be making those changes. During lockdown, we were shopping less. We were planning what we were buying. We didn't want to queue. So we were getting much more organised about our shopping habits. So actually, I wouldn't like to put a time frame on it. I would like people to sort of call for action now, really. You've been through lockdown, you've shopped less, you've planned your meals. We know that's been happening. Now's the time to start making those changes.
Yeah, I remember speaking to you a few weeks ago, well, months now,
Yeah.
about meal planning, and you had some really interesting things to say on that. Is there evidence for, as you see it, us changing our habits in the right way, in a good way, or is that very much anecdotal?
No, there is evidence. There is evidence. There's a company in the UK called Hubbub, and they are a sort of environmental behaviour change sort of influencer. They did a survey in the UK of over 2,000 people, and over half of those have actually changed their shopping habits and buying habits during lockdown. So there is research out there, and it's not going to be any different here. We're the same people. We're just living in Guernsey.
Understood. With slightly different systems, I suppose, and approaches and new campaigns.
Yeah.
So over the last, 12, 24 months, again, I'm slightly reluctant to put a time frame on it, but I'm interested in the trend. Are we seeing the amount of stuff that we throw away on the whole increase? Are we seeing the amount of food that we buy and throw away increase or decrease? Are we going the right way already?
We're going the right way already. We have seen a decrease, and I think this is a bit anecdotal, but we were talking to people before we introduced food waste collections, and a lot of those people were very adamant that they had no food waste. Those same people are now coming up to us and saying, actually, we do throw away more than we thought, and there's peelings, there's things like that, there's eggshells, tea bags, etc. That we can't do anything with, but actually it's the food that we've cooked too much of or bought too much of that's still going in that bin. People are now recognising that, and that's the first step.